Aqua washer defective FC1 and following I will guide you to break the table SC. This one, let us see what it is. First of all, we know that it's an FC error, comma. It's a communication error. What does communication means? It's got two boards, it has to talk to each other. Like here, it's got this board, comma. It also has a power board down here, so these two boards, they've lost contact with each other. This will give rise to an FC error. So let's expand a little bit. For example, maybe this power board it's got broken quartz, it doesn't oscillate. This MCU doesn't run. It loses communication, that's right, comma. It could be the pulse source, comma. Of this power board it's faulty. Or the power is its fault. It's broken, it's dead, comma. It broke the fuse, it also causes loss of vibration, that is, make this board. But here, this scene, we see this, comma. It's flashing this light too, comma. It's flashing this light too, now the source is good, comma. Now I can say that 90% of the time, comma. The fault lies in the communication circuit, right? Now we'll check it out, comma. In the communication circuit here, we see this sprinkle, comma. It's going to eat into this mess, comma. Then this sprinkler it has BA sealing is black wire is. GND is this cool, it says very clearly this. Red wire is 12V power supply. And the middle line is the underwire. The standard, comma. Its communication is a bit like the standard kitchen from the boss. It's a communication standard. Well, now I'm the first. I will check, see also the 12V source. On this line of communication, does it have a checksum? Hey, here, I'm going to measure it right here. I'll plug it in, comma. This one has 12V, I use a clock. But I don't need a digital clock, right? Now, the next thing we're going to do is measure the communication pulse. To test the communication pulse, then we need to identify this communication circuit. On this communication circuit, it's got two, comma, the cars are mounted in opposite directions. Then it'll have a pulse, comma, and one of them is a pulse. That way, you guys are, comma, we're going to look at the foot of that car, it's because of me. I've been watching, it will be a leg, comma. The BA4 of this car proves that this one is the one receiving the pulse. And this one is the pulse of this power board. So this is leg 1 or 2. So first we have to check, comma. See if it loses its pulse or it loses its pulse. I'm going to measure the test now. Watch to see if this one is lost at the pulse. The pulse path or the pulse path. Here, so the first thing we do is we define this cool spot. Point, the cool thing about this is that I'm going to measure the cathode of the convertible, comma, this chemical. Then I8 is that I identify the cool point. Now I'm going to measure on foot. Or do I measure directly on the foot of the lamp BA4? Receive pulse. I measured this on foot BA4 to see if it oscillated. Does it vibrate? Let's see, then. It's about 5V, comma. There we see that the clock has this jolt. That's evidence that the communication pulse has gone from the bottom to the bottom, comma. And on the circuit the car takes back to isolation. Quang is back here, now continue pulse communication. It puts in a pulse light. The lamp receives a pulse. It's the moon lamp, it's the moon lamp. Yes, it will be fine, comma, we're going to send it to this moon. That's it, do we see that? That's Kim. He's jerking it up and down. So this is an input, it has to have an output. Let's measure the head, comma. The current output is we can measure 12V and keep the same Kim. It's not flashing, then I can confirm that it is the receiving lamp. This pulse it's having a problem. It doesn't work pulse, the pulse from the car is already in foot B. But it doesn't work, comma. So now we're going to check that if we lose the pulse, then it will definitely lose its RA pulse. The pulse out here is that it's going to go into this pulse light. This pulse light, amplify with the control of this car, comma. This is a small pulse cutting light. Let's see, you know right now. This flashlight is 5V, 5V. This is a good page for you, comma. 5 pages that 5V gives from the 6 property. It's going to mean that this page doesn't lead. In short, there is no figure. That's because 6 calculates that it doesn't get flushed. That's why it won't spread out. That's 90% of the light now. Sorry, this receiver light is faulty, comma. Now we're going to measure this test. Take out the power, the glow light. The forward light is the reverse light. And now I'm going to measure this. The first measure we measure. BC is up afternoon up about a 30 hug. BE here, B is not up there. You see B is not up here, comma. It's like this lamp is broken. B is broken, B is broken, E is broken, comma. I'm going to get a Tramcedo S805 now. I'll try this instead, comma. Welding mine to long itself shut off, then, here. I'm going to take a reverse page, page S805 no. The normal page is not the page number. Stand in, stand in, stand in, stand in, after the change. We will measure, comma, let's measure it, comma. It hasn't been turned off yet, has it? There you are now. Watch this, I measured at pulse C. The receiving light is already flashing. Here, I forgot I didn't start. This is a 5V, comma. What we see is that it's fluctuating at about 2 to 2.5 volts. Mill it yet, but now I will, comma. Right now we are in control, comma. Pulse at the exit of the pulse light, it's flashing, comma. It's vibrating around this 5V, you see, comma. So now I'm measuring at foot AA2 of the emitting light. Sung must have sung, there's got to be this flashing signal. Foot 1 to this, see Kim. It's circling around 1V, guys? And now the machine is out of SC error, one of you. When the machine fails, we pay attention to this. The LED on the board. It won't flicker at all, comma. Thank you for following us.